What's going on, guys? It's NK57, your virtual car friend. You may remember me from such YouTube channels as Collector Car Feed. And yeah, this is my channel. Gonna do some spark plugs today. My wife's car, Subaru Outback. Let me get a little screwdriver. Okay, so yeah, doing these spark plugs today on my wife's Outback. And I want to talk to you guys today about budget builds. We had an episode recently on Collector Car Feed talking about budget builds and how a lot of YouTubers are out of touch with huge budget builds, like $37,000 budget builds. And a lot of people, it resonated with a lot of people. A lot of people were like, yeah, you know, I feel the exact same way. It's out of touch. It's not realistic. And then, you know, there's the knob slobbers all the time that are gonna be like, oh, you guys are just haters. You guys are just haters because they have money and you don't. And no, it's not about that. I get that you have this innate urge to slob some knob, you know, but I actually, Jimmy Oaks actually called me up. He told me, you know, Dick Rider 75 defended him and he was so happy for it, you know. He was like, he doesn't know what he would have done if Dick Rider 75 hadn't swooped in and protected him, you know, from evil Collector Car Feed. But, you know, you shouldn't take it as, don't take what we said as discouragement, because just because you can't afford $37,000, you know, on a build, doesn't mean that you can't have a build. You can have a very nice car, a very nice build for an actual budget, you know, let's say $10,000. I think $10,000 is a nice even number to get a budget. You can even have a 240, a nice 240SX for that, believe it or not. And you might think, no way, dude, you're out of your mind. You can't, that's not enough money. You can't have a cool car. You can't have a cool build for that much. And I'm talking car included. Cool Dean electrical connector pliers. And I think a good example is my 240SX, as you can see here. 1992 240SX coupe. I bought it with an automatic transmission. How do I open this thing? I'm just gonna take this whole thing out. Let me get a... So an automatic 240SX coupe, white heads-up display, low mileage. I think it had 119,000 miles when I bought it. It's sitting at 126,000 miles right now. And you know, this is when I bought this car. I'm always looking, just like everyone else. I'm always looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I think most car people are. But you have to be ready to buy the car when the right car comes up. In this case, the right car came up and I pulled the trigger immediately. I found this car at like around 11 o'clock or midnight. I messaged the guy, talked to him, negotiated. I was living in El Paso at the time. And I was on an airplane to, I think, Lubbock or Abilene, maybe Lubbock, at 6 in the morning, you know, probably 5 hours later. Woke my wife up in the middle of the night. Woke my wife up probably like at 1 in the morning and told her, hey, you gotta take me to the airport in like 2 hours, 3 hours. And she's like, what? And she thought I had to go to work. And I probably should have just told her, yeah, I'm going to work. So I flew to Lubbock, bought this car and drove back to El Paso. So from seeing the car at midnight, finding the Facebook posting at midnight, let's say 18 hours. I think I got home about 6 p.m. It was in my garage. I bought the car for $4,000. And that is an immediate must buy, obviously. And those are the cars that you guys need to be looking for. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of oh, dirty air filter. I got a new one. Don't be afraid of walking away from a car and waiting waiting for the right car. That is extremely important because too many people get caught up on, oh, it's a car. This is the type of car I want. I must buy it. No, it will be much better for you in the long run if you wait for the right car to buy. Case in point, my 240SX. It's not perfect, but it's very, very nice. Seats are torn, dash wasn't cracked. I had to do some upkeep to it. Let's say I spent about, I don't know, $500 or $600 on maintenance for the car. And that's really all I did to it. I didn't do a lot to that car, and I just drove it and enjoyed it stock. Recently, I did some work to it. Damn it. This was the vanilla build on Collector Car Feed. It was never really I filmed it for CCF, but the editing was never finished. So, but whatever, I'll go ahead and talk about it. This is the finished product. Did a manual transmission swap, dorky dory coilovers, lowered it a little bit, and then Work Emotion XT7 wheels. These were used wheels, and then new tires for the wheels. Short shifter. The transmission I had it rebuilt before I put it in. New clutch, clutch master, clutch slave. Basically all that stuff was new. You know, I wanted, if I'm gonna be in there and doing it, I want to do it right, and I want to do it right the first time. And I added everything up, and I think it was probably about $5,000 all in for that. You know, for everything I did to it. This was the build. A real true budget build, if I'll go as far as to say. So all things considered, that is $4 grand for the car. Let's call it $600 for everything I needed to get it running right. When I initially bought it, I had to unfuck some things. Did a tune-up. Did a valve cover gasket once on it. I got an ignition control module it needed. They had done some funky wiring to bypass that ignition control module that was bad. Damn it. Yeah, they did some funky wiring to bypass the ignition control module. I guess because it wasn't starting. Anyway, replaced the ignition control module, got rid of that weird wiring. Cleaned the hell out of it. That cost me nothing, you know. That was just, that's what they call sweat equity. God bless. So that's $4,500. And then the build, this secondary build I did do it after I had the car for, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years. That's $9,500. $9,500, and I built what I think is a very nice 240SX. And I think a lot of people will agree, outside of the extreme freaking haters, you know, that just want to be mad at me, you know, because I guess I tell the truth too hard, getting too mad. So that is what probably I would say is a real budget build, $9,500. And I have an S13 that's probably in the 85th percentile, you know, super top 85% of S13s in the nation. Is that right? 85th, or do I say 15th percentile? I'm gonna say 85th percentile, but you know what I mean. So what do you think? Is that a budget build? And you might think, oh, Net, yeah, Net, you may have gotten that, but that was, when did I buy that car? 2019, 2020? Oh, that was from the before times, you know, you can't get that anymore. Those deals just aren't there anymore. Should I take that thing off? Do I need to take that thing off? Do I need to remove this? I don't think so. You can't do that anymore. That's impossible. You bought that pre-coof. Those deals aren't out there anymore. No, I beg to differ. I think you can still get it. And this is where I bring you scenario 2, my 1994 Isuzu Rodeo. I'm gonna take this fucking thing off. My 1994 Isuzu Rodeo. And this was sort of the same situation. It was late. I was up browsing, not Facebook Marketplace this time, but the oldie but goodie Craigslist. Now Craigslist is one of those, it fucking sucks. But sometimes it can be a dark horse, and that you'll find a deal that a boomer puts out there that remembers, oh yeah, Craigslist is where people would sell stuff. Not knowing that it sucks now and everyone's migrated. While there's a lot less on there, what you will find 9 times out of 10 will probably be gold. And in this case, that is what I found. I search Isuzu Rodeos on and off because I like them. I think they're cool trucks, and I'm probably gonna make a video specifically on the Isuzu Rodeo. And if you would like to see that, if you think that would be cool, comment down below. Let me know what you think. So that was, I searched Rodeo. I expanded my search out, which was pretty cool that Craigslist finally offers that. I'm living in Albuquerque now, and I found an Isuzu Rodeo in San Diego, California. 24,000 miles, 24,900 miles was what I think when I purchased it. And it looks super clean. I love the color, I love the stripe, 4-wheel drive Rodeo. I wish, again, automatic, just like my 240 automatic. In both those cases, I definitely would have preferred manual transmission. However, when it comes to buying cars, when it's nice, and that's what matters. You take what's in front of you. It's not like there's a ton to choose from. And I know I told you to wait for the right car, but sometimes it is possible for the right car to be automatic, because I'm not going to find a 20,000 mile manual transmission Rodeo anytime soon. And I think I can have just as much fun with this one. So, same thing. I wasn't really looking for a car. However, I knew that this one was an immediate buy. Contacted the seller. I couldn't leave the next day. However, I put a deposit. He and I spoke. I put a deposit, and I ended up flying out 2 or 3 days later to San Diego. Bought the car, drove back to Albuquerque, and I mean, it's basically been the same thing. Let's say I spent this one I spent more money on it. Let me get a spark plug socket and I'll tell y'all. Okay, so this one, I bought it with the intent to sell. And I wanted to make a very cool, appealing car that people would want to bid on. I need to get a smaller one. Do I have a smaller 3/8 extension? According to my toolbox, I do. But where is it? There it is. Okay. So I bought it with the intention of selling it. I enjoy working on cars, and I enjoy doing it, I enjoy the whole process. I enjoy working on it and then putting together a good product for the future buyer. Everyone's happy all around. So what have I done to this? I put, first and foremost, most important thing is knocking out all the maintenance. I started with a timing set. It had leaky valve cover gaskets, did those. Obviously oil, air filter, radiator fluid, coolant, I guess I should say, spark plugs, wires, the front CV axles, which I ended up farming that work out because they were kind of a bitch. Well, they were a huge bitch. So much so that I kind of got the better end of the stick because a shop was like, oh yeah, we'll knock that out. We'll charge you 3 hours or 4 hours or something. And it ended up taking them like a week to do it. So I came out on top in that one. So don't be afraid to farm stuff out that you don't want to do. I cleaned it, but it didn't need a whole lot of cleaning, honestly. Did some paintless dent removal to it. I have, I think that I'm probably forgetting some stuff, but yeah. So, but the gist of it is, I did all the maintenance first. Now, let's go on to after I finish the maintenance. Now we can mess with it and make it look cool. So, the first thing you see, the most obvious change, is these really cool 16-inch by 18 Enki Cyclone truck wheels. Truck guys, golly, I feel bad for you because every fucking wheel out there is like, it's like freaking designed by Ed Hardy for trucks. I don't know what that says about truck guys. Maybe a lot of you have terrible fucking taste, but it's hard to find a nice, good-looking, clean set of wheels that I think complement a truck. In this case, I found these Enki Cyclones. Ordered them from Discount Tire, along with the Jewel tires, the BF Goodrich KO3s, brand new at the time. But what sucks is I had to. A bunch of you probably already know this from Collector Car Feed, but Discount Tire was like, yeah, these will fit. I ordered them and they don't clear the front hubs. Oh, that's another thing I did, was I went from automatic locking hubs to manual locking hubs. But yeah, those wheels did not clear the freaking hubs. But I really liked them and I wanted to use them still. So I told Discount, I was like, that's fine, dismount these 2 front tires. I'm gonna take them to a machine shop. And I got that inner, it's not even like really the inner boards, just the end of it that holds the center cap. Bored that out because that's the only thing. It's not like I changed the structural integrity of the wheel at all. I just hollowed out the thing that holds the center cap. So that way I could fit the front wheels. I didn't do it to the rears because I like the center cap and I wanted to run the center cap. Maybe in the future, feeding them will give me shit. I'm sure some of you guys on here will give me shit for it too. But that was a stylistic choice that I made. And if I do end up auctioning the truck, I mean, I'm gonna offer the buyer the choice of like, hey, if you want me to machine those rear ones out too, I'll machine them out for you. And that makes everyone happy. I put this really cool Blaupunk head unit in there. It's one of the coolest head units I've ever seen in my life. It's like, retro vintage look, but it has Bluetooth. And that is, the radio is one of those things that, living with the car day to day, that's gonna do the most for making your life easier, is a Bluetooth head unit, because you listen to what you want, you can do maps, and it just makes it all around better. I tried to put an underseat subwoofer in it, but it didn't quite fit. I still have it. I have a Blaupunk underseat sub as well. I ended up just scratching it up, like trying to fit it underneath the seat, So that kind of sucked. But I put new speakers in it. The rear speakers were blown. Fronts, I'm sure we're getting there. I put Alpine speakers all around. I put a lift, a rear, just a simple from Independent 4x leaf spring shackle, a longer one, just to give it. I think I got it maybe an inch and a half lift, and then I tightened up the front torsion bars to even it out. I wanted to replace a cigarette lighter with just a simple USB port, but the shape of it wasn't gonna work right. So I ended up just drilling a little hole on a panel that can be replaced, so it can be undone easily. You can, just replace that little panel if you want to. But I put what I think is a very neat little, adds a little touch of modernity to the old classic truck. Dual USB ports, and what's cool about the one I found, this one has no LEDs. That was like a deal breaker to have an LED on it for me. Oh, I had to replace the throttle cable. It was like really, really sticky. I don't think it was the right one for it. Was able to find one in the junkyard, replaced it, and that was all good. The speedometer wasn't working, but the odometer was. So don't think when I say that the speedometer wasn't working when I got it that, oh, the mileage isn't right. So let's go over, the Rodeo now. Same thing. I got that Rodeo for $4,000. I spent, I don't know, the tires were probably $1,000, and I think $2,500 all in for the wheels and tires. That was the most expensive. Let's call it $600 again for all the maintenance things I had to do to it. The radio was $500. Realistically, I think I've spent probably $5,000 on and it goes up if you want to count the registration, the taxes, and all that stuff. But just for the sake of bringing the number down, let's say I spent $6,000, on everything. That's $10,000. That's $10,000 build, complete budget, and I would call that truck easily a 99th percentile Isuzu Rodeo. There has been one other one I've seen on Bring a Trailer that had a little bit more miles than mine, but overall I think it looked cleaner. But mine, I still haven't done a paint correction. I think it'll clean up even better. So that right there shows you that's two builds. I mean, I know this is anecdotal evidence, but come on, guys, I'm just a regular dude like you guys. That's two builds right there that I spent $10,000 on. That anybody watching, I'm sure, would be excited. If I said, "Hey, you know what? You want to take this car and it's yours." Anybody would love it, and it's an 85th and a 99th percentile build, probably for those vehicles. And that's because why? How did I spend $10,000 and have two very, very nice cars? By being patient, buying the right car, and buying it when it was available. There's two types of people when it comes to buying used cars: the quick and the dead. And in those two cases, I was the quick one. I was the quickest on the draw, had my finger on the trigger, and I pulled it. I had the money at the time, and I did it, and I went in on it. So you can be a normal dude, not spend a ton of money, and have a really nice build. You don't need to you don't have to buy the most popular car. The Rodeo isn't the most popular off-roader, but I think it's a very decent option. It's an overlooked option. But I do have one of the most popular tuner builds. The S13 is probably one of the most popular, import cars, and I still did it for $10,000. It can be done. It's just being patient, buying the right car, maintenance first because you want to drive it, and don't do stupid, outlandish shit to it, guys. It's build it right, build it nice, and you can have a budget build. It's possible. I've given you two great examples that I've done myself. But yeah, I think it's going to be it for now. This recording and doing work, I mean, doubles the fucking amount of time. So let me throw these spark plugs in. I'm going to finish up the other side. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And if you want to see more stuff like this, comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for the support. And I'll see you in the next one.